Okay, I've been tormenting you with things about subjective and objective. We've talked about complements and objects for about 2 weeks now. And one of the reasons I've done this is because there's always this question of who and whom. When do you use who? When do you use whom? Now, to make it really simple, I would say when it's the subject of the sentence, you use who. Just like when it's the subject of the sentence, you use I. When it's an object, you use me. For example, you would say, I went in the car. But you would not say, and you wouldn't say, me went in the car. That makes no sense because me is used as an object. He went with me, which would be the object of the preposition with. You does not change. It's always the same. He changes to him in the objective case. He went to the game. We were talking about him, about being a preposition, and him being the object of a preposition. Therefore, it's the objective case. She you use when you're talking about a woman or a girl as the subject, and her when it's the object, either direct object, object with a preposition, that sort of thing. Same thing with who. Who is used as a subject and also as a predicate nominative, because a predicate nominative renames the subject. Okay, let me repeat that. You use who as a subject, but you also use it when it is a predicate nominative because it's renaming the subject. You use whom as a direct object or an object of a preposition. Okay, let's try a little quiz here. All right, let me get this straightened out to where I need it to be, and we'll take this little test. Okay, right. Who knows what color it should be? Number one. Don't worry about the word color. I know it looks like it's spelled wrong, but this is either Canadian or British, and that's how they spell color. So that's the explanation for that. Okay, if you look at this sentence, what part of the sentence is this going to be? Well, it's going to be the subject of knows. It's what knows what color it should be. So if it's the subject of this verb rather than the object of it, then you look back at your little graph here or picture and you see that as a subject, you would use who. Okay. I'm going to see if I can't make this a little better here eventually. So we decided that who is a subject. So let's go ahead and click on who, and we'll see if it's right at the end. Don't forget the lady who sang last time. All right. Now, here is a verb, sang. What is the subject of sang? What word here is the subject of sang? Well, you're talking about one of these has to be the subject of sang. So again, what does it have to be? Well, we look back at our chart, and I am going to get this thing moved if I can. Well, I think you can see it okay this way. If it's the subject, then again, it's going to be who. So Going back to the quiz, don't forget the lady who sang last time. So we'll click on who for that one. Now, this one is a lot like the one before. However, I'm going to go into a little longer explanation of it. It is the subject, is the verb, and hag is a predicate nominative. Okay, and it refers back to the subject. Now you know that this one of these is referring to not only the predicate nominative, but the subject. So it also has to be in subjective case. So again, we're going to choose who. And that makes sense because who owns the black cat? Who is the subject of the verb owns? All right. You are comparing me to who or whom? Subject of the sentence is you. Verb is are comparing. Direct object is me. And what part of speech is to? It's a preposition. And all prepositions have to have an object. So one of these has got to be the object of the preposition to. Well, if we look back at our chart, if it has to be an object, then it's going to have to be whom, correct? Okay, so you are comparing me to whom? And then this last one is, can you tell me who or whom sat next to him during the meeting? Actually, I don't think this is the last one. I think we have one more after this one. Let me see. Yes, we do. Okay. Can you tell me who or whom sat? Okay. So let's look at this verb sat. What are we talking about that did the action? What is the subject of this verb sat? Well, it's got to be one of these. And if it's a subject, we know it has to be who. And the last one. All right, one thing that bothers me about this is that this is not proper grammar. You do not end a sentence with a preposition, and this is a preposition. So the sentence really should say, okay, with who or whom do you agree? Well, we've answered the question right there because we're saying that with is a preposition. It needs an object, and we're saying it has to be one of these. With who or with whom? Well, if it's an object, then it's going to be the objective case. It's going to be whom. So let's go ahead and mark that one. So it's okay. Whom do you agree with? Okay, well, let's check our answers. And of course, they are all right. It says correct selections, 6, wrong selections, 0. Now there are additional tests here, and I will put the URL on my website so that you can test yourself on these in your time away from class. But this is an introduction to how you use who and whom.